tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Happy Sober Wednesday. Wednesday. Gotta do the camera a little different. I have a different chair. My kids were throwing away a chair. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that chair. I will take it. Thank you. Last one I had one of the wheels broke on it because, well, I punched it one day, and yeah. It's okay if you destroy your own shit, right? Then anger's okay. I didn't throw away the other chair. Still got it. All right, I got to take it. This is what they call naproxen. It's just beefed up Advil. I have a toothache. But I don't seem to go to the dentist until the pain outweighs the fear of going to the dentist. And I don't really want to. There's a lot of factors when it comes to that. We're supposed to be replacing all my teeth, but you're going to cover the fifth step. Amber says I'm chairing night owls tonight. Well, it's Wednesday night, so yeah. You're doing that on Wednesdays for a little bit. We're going to cover the fifth step out of the big book. Probably a good choice this month. If you haven't noticed by now, the theme, usually the theme of the steps usually follows the months. And there's a reason for it. There's an actual reason for it. And it's because a good amount of people come in January. January is our biggest month for newcomers. And there we are, step one, right? So a lot of people get sober in January for various reasons, you know. So that's a reason why. Amber says she's doing it through Wednesdays of May, and they rotate. See? They rotate. Brand, good to see you. Where you been, stranger? Glad to see you're doing okay. You were on my mind the other day. But I have ADHD, and I forgot to send you a message. Sorry about that. Heather, good afternoon. Good to see you. I'm glad to know that. I always like to know that my friends are doing well, even if they're just acquaintances. Clara Joyce said, who's sober? Clara Joyce is sober. Usually I'm meeting with Christine at this time, but she's a little under the weather, so which actually works out because I have a ton of shit to do before the 2:00 meeting. Most importantly, I need to get I haven't finished the script. So I need to take care of the script because it's a different script. Amber says, I would like to clarify it doesn't take a month to do each step. For the newcomer, you can get through all steps in a few days if you want to. Brent says she's been doing service work. All right. So the reading today is from A Day to Time, Hazelden Literature. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm an alcoholic, if you don't know that by now. I'm a hopeless, helpless, chronic alcoholic, and I'm okay with it. If you're here, please say hello, whether watching the live or the rewatch. Get a lot of rewatchers. Gather Together is every night. Yeah, you can, if you'd like to check out they call it Night Owls. And if you'd like to, you could go on Everything AA, which is an app, but you want to look for Gather Together. Okay. And it's gather and then the letter 2 and then gather for those of you that, yeah. Bren says she's hosting 2 meetings. Would love to invite you all for 20-minute speakers. When and where, Bren? And feel free to put that in the grassroots. If you're still in the grassroots meeting or WhatsApp, feel free to put it in there. There's probably a couple people. You never know. Sometimes I'm willing to get up a little bit earlier in order to help people out. Just means I'll go to bed a little bit earlier that night. So it really depends. And night owls with a Z, but it's not listed as night owls. So, but then again, Bren knows me very well that if she says it's probably too early for me, it's probably too early. Probably means like 6 a.m. Hi, Julia. It's good to see you. Welcome. Good to have you. All right. So May 7th, may the 7th be with you. I don't know what that means. 7th son. It's a Sith thing, right? 7 a.m. Eastern. Well, that'd be 9 a.m. my time. I might be willing to do that sometime for you. Yeah. But definitely, for anybody in the grassroots, if you have another meeting and it's, yeah, you laughed and I laughed. Okay. I'm trying to be more flexible. So, all right. Let's stop talking about how Dion needs his sleep. I need my beauty sleep. Look at this precious face, man. It needs its sleep or I get these big old bags under my eyes. Yeah. So 5 a.m. my time. Oh, yeah, huh? Because it's later. That would be 5 a.m. See, that's how I screwed it up. 5 a.m. It'd probably be better if I stayed up. Thank you, Heather, for catching that. So was I laughing at that, or was I really just laughing at myself or the situation? Ow. All right. Let's get started. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks for putting a smile on my face this early. I appreciate it. If I believe that it is hopeless to expect any improvement in my life, I'm doubting the power of God. Asking why. Doubting God. We cannot doubt our higher power. Well, but it's going to happen. I do it. It happens to me. Absolutely. Julia said that's exactly what I did last night. I'm fucking toast. Ooh, yeah. I don't think it's possible for me to stay up all night. I don't think that could happen. So there you go. See? And Amber's a great lead. Yeah. We got a lot of really cool people in the grassroots that get up at a normal time. All right. So I go through my periods of doubt, but my defiance doesn't seem to last as long. It has been a very, very long time since I was just like, God, I'm so mad at you. I'm not going to pray. Right. But I'm going to tell you something, though. When I get angry, I yell at God. She just posted in the chat. Awesome, Bran. That's awesome. Try to get people to do more service work in that. In fact, the next 2 times I meet with some of my sponsees, I'm going to be telling them they're required to start chairing some of the grassroots meetings. Is it the Halo? Okay. See, I put these up every now and again because it doesn't show up here for a minute, or it doesn't show up until I put it up. It may be different for you, but I'm curious to see what it says, right? So I go through a my moments, but it hasn't gotten so bad. So let's say you do have a defiance, you get mad at God and you decide that you're not going to pray for a day or two. Don't feel bad about it. Just like a child testing their parents' boundaries. That's kind of how I see it. Because in some ways, I'm still immature. I don't want to say young, there's parts of me that are still immature. Sometimes I'm still a little too sensitive. Yeah. You should give them the ability to chair any meeting, not just grassroots. And I hear what you're saying, and they have a chance to do that. But let me show you something. I'm going to show you something. Here is our May sign up. Okay. This is our May sign up. All the red I have to take care of. And there's a lot of red there. And I'm getting a little wore out on doing everything. I'm kind of regretting taking the meeting to 5 times a week or 6 times a week. Because look at this, open. Host, I don't really care as much. I need to do some things. But for the next 3 days, Dion, so 6 out of the 7 meetings here, Dion, like today, nobody's did it for the 2 p.m. So there's 7 meetings here. I have to chair 5 of them, and I have to host, and I have to time, and I have to do it all. And I need people to start picking up the pace. I'm actually getting a little frustrated. So one of my thoughts was, well, I will encourage my sponsees to do some service work. That was my thought process. But at the same time, grassroots shouldn't be the limitation. I absolutely agree with that. Julia says it's how we can be useful with our shit. If I'm angry, it has always helped me to use it intelligently. Yes, I agree with that. That we put our anger in a different place, something more constructive rather than destructive, right? Like a board of risk or something. Otherwise, I'm a disaster zone. How am I breaking anonymity? With how am I breaking anonymity? First names only, right? I mean, I was just trying to show you, it's not always easy for me to just, if you say something, see, you're on the other side, I'm on the spot. So be careful with that. All right. I'm sorry if anybody feels like I blew their anonymity, but you're not on there. So I didn't break yours. Amber, you do a lot of stuff for me, and I know that 5 o'clock's hard for you. So the key is we got to get more people in there. Some people have disappeared that were chairing, like that one guy. So I will do better with that. It's just, I'm also trying to do this, and we're talking about how Dion's breaking anonymity, and it's kind of a disruption. So get in my shoes a little bit here. All right. If I believe I have a reason for despair, I'm confessing personal failure. For I do have the power to change myself. Nothing can prevent it but my own unwillingness. It's when I become not willing to do something. Right? It's like I was willing to take on the host for 6 spots. I was willing to do that. So I may be frustrated, but I really don't get a choice to bitch about it. I can either say, hey, I'm frustrated, people need to sign up, or I can encourage people to sign up, or what we in AA call voluntold. All right. Today we need a chairperson for the 2 p.m. and for the 5 p.m. If we don't, then I'm going to have to do it. And that's okay. I'll take care of it. It's actually not that I've got the rhythm down. So, and I'll just get to the location 10 minutes earlier so I can set up a little bit better. That's what I'll do. So, I just don't want people to think that I have control over the meeting, because I do not. I do not, but it is growing. We're doing well. But I'm the only person I can change, even in that situation, right? I can either bitch, complain, or I can do it as enthusiastically as I can. Those are kind of my options, right? Oh, Julia, you have a regular job, just like I don't expect Amber to be there either, because it's right in the middle of the workday. Otherwise, the meeting would have been at like 7:00 at night, but we can't have it at that time because they are closed, and there's not enough trust there yet to let me and a bunch of alcoholics run through the building like children, because we might. Because we might. Thank you, everybody, for all the support. I do appreciate that. I do. The thing is I tend to forget that not everybody has a schedule like Dion, where it's just kind of free to do what he wants. I tend to forget that. So there's another part of me where I'm like, well, I got to respect what other people do. Like my children are grown too. I don't really have to do much. I don't have to change diapers. I don't have to do any of that either. I don't have to get the kids to school. I don't have to make lunches. I don't have to. So I have to remember that everybody's time is kind of eaten up, and maybe they got home from a long day and would just like to sit down and relax and be a part of the meeting. I can understand that. Absolutely. And they do deserve it too. So I'm willing to be that person. Yeah. And what is that? Well, it's the grace of God, man. Right? That, I can just sit here and go, and I can whine that I have to, or I can be happy that I get to. And I'm happy that I get to. I get to do this stuff. The next thing I'm going to actually do is I'm going to make a YouTube video on how to chair the grassroots meeting. That way, anybody that has any fear about it can watch that and see absolutely how easy it is. I'm a Virgo. I'm great at structure. I am. Thank you for earlier for letting me. Sometimes it's hard for me to take a little bit of constructive criticism. It's my defiance. I also kind of wish that sometimes people would see where I'm coming from, though, so there's a balance there. But I can't run around shoving that down people's throats. That's not very nice. See? And what is all of this? It's all the grace of God, man. I would not be here if it wasn't for the 4 or 5 people here, if it wasn't for the meetings and the people and having God in my life. I wouldn't be able to do this. It wouldn't be any fun. There was at one point, there was like a month there where nobody showed up to this. That was a hard month. That was years and years ago. Right? Now I get to do this stuff. Pretty neat. Because what did it just say? That if we have the power over anything, we have the power over ourselves. And the only thing that'll prevent it is my own unwillingness. Thank you, Clara. And I'm going to, after I do this, I'm booking out of here at 1:00. Man, I should have gotten up earlier. I can learn in the program to avail myself of the immense, inexhaustible power of God. if I'm willing to be continually aware of God's nearness, do I still imagine that my satisfaction with life depends on what someone else may do? Oh, that applies right to what we were just talking about. See, an expectation. They cannot turn into expectations, because then it gets a little different, right? And sometimes life happens. So I can either do it as enthusiastically as I can, or I can whine about what I started. See, this trouble is of my own making. I started the meeting, you know, and sooner or later it'll switch over. Central office delegate meeting was last night. That was interesting. We spent 40 minutes on one topic, about a quarter. They're talking, what they're going to do is, instead of handing out physical, and we'll still have the physical meeting guides, it'll be a QR code on the inside of the newcomer packet, right? But the argument was whether we were going to keep it in the newcomer packet still or save the money, right? And then everybody's like, the argument was that it takes $1.25 to make those, but the central office manager is charging $1. Now, she gets to decide that. That's why we hired her. And I'm going to tell you, because I've given a little bit of crap about the central office manager, but I saw the shit she put us up with last night, and now I'm on her side. Yeah. I brought up, and this kind of disappointed me. I brought up, hey, I'm trying to bring more 12-step stuff, in-person 12-step calls, and nobody wanted to hear it. Central office is moving. They can no longer pay the rent. It used to be Section 8 housing, but the funds for the Section 8 housing for that building is gone, so they need to move. So just a heads up that the central office is going to move, probably within the next 3 to 4 months. So, but if you do me a favor and even write central office and tell them how well they're doing, I don't think these people get enough accolades. There were 65 people there last night. That put some hope in my heart. It did. It put some, even though I got irritated by the end, but that's Dion anyway, right? Well, it just kept going around over a quarter. Then the synopsis was this: we're voting next time. Right? Part of the problem is the person running the meeting they have no authority. They don't carry themselves with authority to keep things on track, right? Try going to one of our group consciouses. I keep those things in line. You do not speak unless you raise your hand first, and then I'll call you. But the thing is that there's rhythms to these things, right? There's a process to it, and I'm used to the process. What's the first thing when it comes to the grace of God? What's the first thing that we tend to experience? I would have to say, first thing that comes to my mind is the obsession, the obsession of alcohol was lifted. But that was for me. Maybe other people, even before the obsession was gone, maybe you had a different experience or something like that, So, all right. I'm not doing very well staying on topic, but it all applies. So, okay, may I give my life to the will of God, not to the whims and insensitivities of others. Yeah. I'm really good at letting other people control my emotions. I just did it earlier. I got a little bit of emotional when and the confrontation wasn't out of line, and I wasn't even able to read the whole thing either. If I would have, I would have seen this part. Love you. Just trying to cover P's and Q's. See? You know how easy it is to get mixed up in something. My brain doesn't always catch everything. So I want to make another amends if I was a little vehement about that. When I counted solely on what other people did and thought and felt for my own happiness, I became nothing more than a cheap mirror reflecting the lives of others. You know, one of the hardest things to do is to act like something that you are not. And I think that we all have experience with that. You know, alcohol turned me into something that I wasn't. You know, and I understand a lot of this. I do a lot of different voices and things like that is because I'm copying other people. When I was a kid, if I was around somebody for too long, I would start laughing like they did. I didn't do it intentionally. Right? Because I just wanted to be accepted. Right? And I found my place where I'm accepted, even for my faults. You know, I make a mistake here and people still stay. And I think that's pretty neat. It tells me where everybody's at, what's going on. Because in a lot of situations, you make a mistake like that, and everybody, oh, you motherfucker, and you get all this negative comment because you made a mistake. So when we know that we can take care of our mistakes right then and there, it allows us to be us, including our mistakes. Yeah. Right. But I felt the need to defend myself pretty quick, didn't I? When the fact of the matter, it probably was. It's a great question. Is it breaking anonymity? Probably is. Probably is. So we live and we learn, right? And what is that? Well, it's the grace of God and saying, you know what? I was wrong on that, so I can change it. And what is that? Well, it's a problem in action, right? It's a problem with action. All right. I'm going to have to start kind of wrapping this up because I got a few things to get done. I got to get the script completed. May I remain close to God in all things. I value myself because God values me. May I be dependent only upon my higher power. Today I'll remember, stay close to God. Well, thank you, Amber. I appreciate that. Amber says I was off topic as fuck, and that's where I was wrong. See? We still get to be friends, and that makes me happy. You know. I also have to say that I'm almost always off topic. There isn't a daily trudge that stays on topic ever. But here's the cool thing about what we do. Recovery fits together. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the topic really is. Because it all leads back to certain things, right? Change, making amends, becoming better people, right? That's why when you go to an AA meeting, you always hear exactly what you need to hear because everything is connected. Just like we are all connected. Okay. Imagine it like this, that there's this little thin thread that's between you and me, no matter where you're at. Right. Many of the members in Grassroots are connected, especially after yesterday's meeting. I'm going to tell you something. Gratitude is like gratitude and acceptance are a couple of the ones where I'm just like, but yesterday, wow. The kind of gratitude I heard it just fucking blew me away. It was a tough meeting. And a lot of people healed. It was really cool. Heather says, but we enjoy each other's company and learn together. That's the cool thing. And Heather, you are absolutely correct. And, I know sometimes even, sometimes it gets way too fucking people-y for me. But I never feel that way here or at Grassroots. I never feel that way. I think that's really cool. And that's just God working, right? Nah. Julia says a big misconception of this program is the idea that our thinking is the problem and the misunderstanding that it means to not think. Typical human error. I would agree with that, Julia. Julia said, sorry, I had my antipsychotic reduced and I'm back up to my normal dose tonight, so I'll ramble till then. I don't mind if you ramble here. And you don't need to apologize because of that. Brent says, I've left here butt hurt. Thank you for being honest and transparent. Sometimes that happens, man. I do my best to make everybody feel included and not to step on the toes of others. But sooner or later, I'm going to say something that's probably going to offend you. I don't mean to. I really don't. And I'm not trying to go out of my way to make somebody not feel a part of. I won't do that. That's not something I enjoy doing to other people. And I'm glad to see it, Bren. You are a big part of you are a part of what we're doing, and I want you to know, anybody that I have upset, they're always welcome back. I talk about tough shit here, and with it comes opinions. Not always the right ones. Yeah. But I can tell you this. If I do offend you and you send me a message, I will listen and reply. Yeah. I'm a lot more approachable than I think people perceive. Julia says opinions are better than advice. So true. Claire says, I need only try to look at what I'm bringing to the meeting and to make sure to leave the rest for others. Yeah. Unless it's a mess, right? Right. So, but we also all go through things, and maybe at that time, somebody needs a little time away so they can think about what's going on. It's hard to cover some things without being, I don't know the word for it, but I think you understand what I mean. What do they say? If you don't leave a meeting pissed off at some point, you're not doing enough. I've left some meetings pissed off. and I won't go back. Some I've left pissed off, and I have come back. And it wasn't them, it was me. It was me. Right. So, all right. I should wrap this up. So, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah, Amber, that's what we need to kind of stay away from, is that frothy emotional appeal. Yeah, and anger is one of those. Getting pissed off and leaving. It's one meeting I left. I won't go back. I didn't do anything wrong, but I'm easily triggered in that meeting, and that's just the truth. Is it them? Yeah. Is it their problem? No. I also not going to go to that meeting and try and split it up or say these people are not. Nah, I won't do that. See, yeah. Claire Joyce says, my sponsor says if there's not an asshole in the room, you're probably the asshole. Which means I'm probably the asshole. That's awesome. I thought about leaving, but I stayed today. Yeah. Thanks for letting me talk it out. I appreciate that. I really do, Amber. You're one of those people that I'm close enough to that if we were fighting, I'd probably want it solved pretty damn fast. So felt I was being made fun of for my day count, and I'm pretty sure that was me. Okay, we're learning some stuff here. Okay. Yeah, there's some topics I think I need to back off of, and day counting is one of them. It is. That was something that I noticed, I don't know, probably about a month ago. There is a fine line there. So what I will do is I will work on being a little bit more conscious on how I'm making people feel with what I'm saying. I'm willing to do that. And with my actions. So next time you might hear me ask you first. Right? Like if I'm going to do something I'm not too sure, like showing the calendar. Instead, I can say, hey, do you think it's okay if I share the calendar? And then somebody would come back and say, probably not. There we go. Seeing we can solve it that way too. But that's something I'm going to have to work on. Yeah. Amber said someone that just celebrated a year made me rethink my whole approach at how soon is too soon for a newcomer to do a lead. I agree with that. I would agree with that. I think because when I first came into AA, if you had less than 30 days, you weren't allowed to speak. It wasn't something I always agreed with. So I'm glad that AA made that change. There's sometimes, okay, let's say we have somebody with 30 days, but they just relapsed after 4 years. They didn't lose that 4 years. They didn't lose that 4 years. So, that's what, that's something that I really appreciate about the group is you help me stay open-minded about some things. Some of you people in here have changed my mind on some things. Because I don't want to be the old man stuck in his ways telling people what to do. I don't want to be that person. Right. So I'm gonna give permission. I know it sounds egotistical that if I upset you, you can reach out to me. Yeah. Feel free to reach out to me. Hey, Dion, I don't really like how you put it this way, because all you're doing is making me a better person, and I'm not going to get angry at you for that. That's where I'm a little different, because I'm going to know when somebody truly sees something and they care about me, I tend to listen very intently, because I know you're just trying to help me become a better person, and I am not above learning new things. All right. And what is that? It's all the grace of God, man. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. Right? See how we get to be good examples here? All of this is just an example for all the rewatchers that are going to watch this. And there's a lot. There's a lot of them. I don't know exactly how many, and I don't know what a lot means to you. Couple hundred, which is just fine, right? But now they get to see the example of how this all worked, right? Yeah. Let's see. Brent says, "Hi, I'm an asshole." Hey, we can all be assholes together. Yay! Maybe we could make that maybe we could have a new service position. Okay, who wants to be the asshole today? Yeah, I guess I'll take it. See, we worked through a problem. Now we're laughing about it. This is healing in all of it. It's all healing, man. It really is. All right. Thank you. Thank you. What a great live, man. I learned a lot. We got through things. It's so cool. I love it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you. You know I do. And that's why I'm willing to change, because I love you. Peace out. And have a day.